Hello friends and neighbors, YouTubers, welcome to the Christopat channel. Today we are at the Prairie Grove Battle Field State Park in Prairie Grove, Arkansas. It was actually declared to be a state park shortly after the battle took place in 1862. If you would like to, you can always push pause while we're going along and read about the slides which we're showing you. Of course, this was a Civil War battlefield, and it still shocks me that over 600,000 people were lost trying to defend an indefensible situation. And they show various different types of artillery that were used during the battle. They show various types of armament that were recovered, and I'll bet if you were still there with a metal detector, you would pull lots of metal out of the surrounding area. This was a battle that went on for quite some time, with charge and then retreat from both sides, both from the Union and from the Confederate side. But the Confederates were eventually vanquished, and this battle is the one that turned the tide during the Civil War and secured Arkansas for the Union. There are an awful lot of interesting things to see at the battlefield, and it does include a tour where you just stay in your car and you drive around to the various points of interest. It's a 62-acre site, and so it covers a fair amount of distance. As you can see, the Confederacy was also minting their own money, while the Union had their own money as well, neither one of which would be acceptable to the other, of course. Some of the things which we saw were really eye-opening. When they talked about surgery, their main tools were a hacksaw and a sharp knife, and that's about as far as they could go. There was one story about a youngster who took a ball to the meat of the hip, and they carried him 4 miles on horseback before he was treated, which basically involved digging the ball out of his hip, bandaging him up, and sending him off the field. It's really something when you look back on the history of the United States and how there could be such divisiveness and acrimony between two sides of an issue. I think it's better if we just all get along. This is the start of the auto trip, and one of the houses that they have there, the Morton House, is furnished much as it would have been back in those days. No phone, no lights, no motor car, not a single luxury. Oh, sorry, that's a different show. In any case, the Morrow House, and then there are a number of other buildings around the site. That's an exterior picture of the Morrow House, and I can imagine that it was pretty much up to date and new at the time that the battle was commenced. The Latta House was moved here along with its outbuildings from another location a few miles away. It was quite the imposing structure as well. You can see it's not only is it 2 stories, but it has a wide veranda, which was favored in those days for sitting and rocking and chawing. Nope, we didn't get any apples from the orchard available. The apples were not available. And finally, here's the overview of the battlefield site. Thus ends our tour. That's all we have for you today. Keep tripping.